Right now at 6, firefighters battle an afternoon blaze in Columbus, Kansas. Plus, a suspect is dead after allegedly brandishing a bow and arrow at authorities in Craig County, Oklahoma.
Inflation continues to send prices higher on a number of things, including building materials. I'm Chris Warner with how one local project is keeping that budget in check.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Inflation is impacting prices on everyday items we all need, and construction materials are no different. This is KOAM News at 6. KOAM's Chris Warner tells us how the Joplin School District is working to manage costs on some of its projects as prices continue to climb.
Since January of 2020, the price of building materials has risen just over 31%. That's according to the National Home Builders Association. Both home and commercial projects are feeling a pinch. Joplin Schools Director of Facilities Dave Pettit says they were able to lock in lower prices for the new Dover Hill Elementary.
Between the school district and the architect and Crossing Construction, we worked hard to encourage all of the material vendors to make sure that they immediately placed orders for material to either store on site or to store off site so that you can ensure that you got the best price at the time.
Pettit says it takes a lot of planning to ensure a project comes together smoothly and on budget.
Another thing that we do is competitively bid, which helps make sure that we get the lowest cost possible, or we use co-ops which have built-in competitive pricing within those items as well.
While things are on budget there, emergency expenses can pop up throughout the district.
The great thing is that we have good vendors that we have great relationships with that know, with us being a school district, if things come up that are large enough that are emergency exercise in us approaching that in that repair or replacement, that they're usually willing to work with us and help us find a way to get that issue taken care of before it becomes very problematic.
But even then, that could mean an HVAC unit bought in an emergency could cost considerably more than the same one ordered in advance for Dover Hill. Pettit says while the majority of items for Dover Hill were purchased in advance, some things have popped up which have altered the overall cost.
We've had to take some small change orders and things to the school board that we've made available to the public, but it's important that we take the best care of the money available for this project as we can.
In Joplin, Chris Warner, KOAM News.
A bit of a silver lining. The National Home Builders Association says the cost of steel mill items has declined nearly 10%. New at 6, the Cherokee County Sheriff's Office says the suspect in a Baxter Springs shooting should be considered armed and dangerous. An arrest warrant was issued this afternoon for 38-year-old Sean Houston. He's wanted on allegations of attempted second-degree murder. Shortly after midnight, deputies were dispatched to investigate a shooting west of Baxter Springs. According to the Sheriff's Office, emergency medical personnel transported a man to a Joplin area hospital for non-life-threatening injuries. In their investigation, detectives identified Houston as a suspect. Anyone with information about his location should contact the Cherokee County Sheriff's Office. The Oklahoma State Bureau of Investigation says a suspect waved a bow and arrow at law enforcement in a, quote, threatening manner in a Craig County officer-involved shooting. The OSBI says dispatchers were called about a chunk of concrete on the railroad tracks on 4400 Road about 7 a.m. Both Veneta police officers and Craig County deputies responded and found tracks in the grass from the railroad to a tractor on nearby property. Agents say the officers found Guy Walker going in and out of his house on that same property. When the investigators approached, he pulled out the bow and arrow. A deputy and an officer both fired at Walker after he started waving the weapon around. Walker died at the scene. No officers were injured. Another cold night ahead of us. Let's check in with Doug Heddy.
Yeah, it looks like our temperatures, most of us are going to drop back low to mid 30s for overnight lows. So especially our northern and our eastern counties, definitely a freeze, kind of in the purple counties, a frost. And then our western and southern counties should stay just above that mark, but we are going to get at least a frost and a freeze into the region for most of us as we go through the overnight hours. Pretty much clear skies, not a whole bunch is going on for us right now. Temperatures mid to upper 50s to lower 60s. It's a really nice evening. Now it doesn't get dark till after 8 p.m. So it's pretty nice, or about 8 p.m. We got these light northerly winds in here at about 5 to 10. These are going to back down as we go through the evening hours. That's going to help our temperatures drop off through the 50s, 40s, eventually mid 30s. We also had thunderstorms in the forecast. We're going to look at that here in just a bit.
Catch you then. Thanks, Doug. An afternoon fire destroyed this home and more in Columbus, Kansas. It happened in Northwest Orchard Land and 6th Streets. In addition to the house, 2 storage trailers were destroyed. Columbus firefighters say no injuries were reported. An investigation is underway after a late-night house fire in Webb City. Just before 11:30 last night, Webb City Police, Fire Department, and Met's ambulance responded to a 911 call at 614 North Walker in Webb City. Orinoco Fire and Joplin Fire were called in to help. Authorities say the resident was not home at the time of the fire. Firefighters brought the blaze under control shortly after midnight. The Missouri State Fire Marshal was requested to assist with that investigation. County employees in Newton County, Arkansas will now be allowed to carry their concealed firearms while on the job. County leaders approved the measure at a meeting this month. Noah Tucker reports on why the decision was made.
A drive-by shooting rattled the Newton County Courthouse in 1949. It's a memory seared into the consciousness of the community, and it's one of the reasons county justices aren't taking any chances.
As you know and I know and everyone else knows, we're living in a different world than what we grew up in. And that's a big issue anymore, is you never know what to expect.
At this month's meeting, the KOAM court approved an ordinance to allow county employees to carry firearms.
Available for like a $20,000 grant for courthouse security. And this ordinance that the KOAM court passed is part of that grant.
So several other measures are included, but the courthouse doesn't have daily security. Now they'll be self-secured.
We've had occasions here where instances where people will get a little irate, especially in domestic. See, we do the circuit side of it too.
I think anybody in a public office nowadays is in danger, and they need to be able to protect themselves.
This isn't totally uncommon. In Boone County, some road supervisors carried concealed weapons.
As long as I've got a copy of their concealed carries on file, I'll allow them to carry.
But for different communities, the reason is the same: safety and security.
Hopefully they'll never have to. We've run into some situations in the past we've had to call the sheriff's department out on the road. Wouldn't want to take a chance with their lives. I want them to go home with their family.
I think it's better to have this and not need it than to have to do something and not have some coverage for the employees.
The concealed carry ordinance has already gone into effect. The county is still figuring out how to appropriate the funds for other security measures. Kansas Governor Laura Kelly vetoed a proposed ban on transgender athletes in girls and women's sports. The Republican-controlled legislature previously approved a proposed ban with solid majorities in both chambers. However, neither had the 2/3 majority needed to override the veto. Governor Kelly rejected a similar bill last year. Coming up, bringing in new business, new manufacturing facilities in the works for Oklahoma and Kansas. Plus, search and rescue canines meeting and greeting who they could be helping. Next. Oklahoma Governor Kevin Stitt hopes to lure a company that could bring tens of thousands of jobs to the state. At a news conference today, the governor said he's asking lawmakers to expand the state's tax incentive program to entice companies that bring high-quality jobs to Oklahoma. Stitt did not identify the specific company he's trying to lure, but indicated it's in the car manufacturing industry and that it would bring a lot of jobs.
So we have an opportunity to land one of the largest factories in the entire country. Just a humongous factory with billions and billions of dollars worth of investment, thousands and thousands of jobs. And so I'm asking for the legislature to do some special, what we call mega legislation for not only this new company, but also future ones that are going to look to Oklahoma to expand.
Stitt says the company could create up to 70,000 direct and indirect jobs. And hundreds of high-paying jobs are coming to a new plant in northeast Kansas. Scorpion Biological Services plans to build a $650 million plant in Manhattan. The company plans to create 500 jobs at the new facility in the next 7 years. The plant will help develop vaccines to respond to global biological threats. The company also plans to work with Fort Riley soldiers transitioning out of the military. The proposal still requires local, county, and state approvals for incentive packages. Quapaw Nation Emergency Management Team hosted a meet and greet along with their canine team. The management team showcased the training that their canine unit goes through, such as trailing and air scent tracking. This event was open to all missing and murdered indigenous relatives groups in Kansas and Oklahoma. That unit aims to be a resource to those groups. A little bit later, it's not often you see a house backing up traffic near Galena. That story is still ahead.
Plus, we have thunderstorm chances in the forecast for this week. We're going to look at that coming up. Well, it definitely turned out to be a chilly weekend. We had the on and off showers on Saturday, also on Sunday, and temperatures kind of chilly. But today, actually a pretty good day, lower 60s, plenty of sunshine. But we are going to get more clouds starting to roll in late tonight and plenty of rain chances through the week. Big warm up. This is going to be late week, so we'll start cranking it up on Wednesday and then Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Temperatures are very spring-like. We do have some thunderstorm threats. We do have some severe threats. Of course, you can get my long-range forecast on my month-long blog. That is KOAMnewsnow.com. Nice shot. I-44, we are looking east, southeast side of the town. Our Lander Chevrolet tower cam looking off toward the south and to the east. And pretty much clear skies, temperatures across the board, mid to upper 50s to lower 60s in our southern counties. 7th range line. Sitting at 58, northerly winds at about 10. Look at the humidity, it's bone dry. It's at 28%. Through the evening, we slide back 50s, 40s. But look at this, hovering right above freezing. So that means a frost, even a freeze in our northern counties for us tonight. In the bluish freeze and the purple-ish, a frost advisory is in effect. But we have clear skies. The winds are going to diminish, so that's going to allow our temperatures to drop off. Not much going on here, but if we go west, here's our next system for late tomorrow into Wednesday. It's mainly going to stay to our north, but it will give us some chances for showers and thunderstorms over the next couple days. Tonight's fine. We're going to drop back mid-30s. We'll see the clouds increasing for us tomorrow. Some spotty showers trying to work through. Nothing strong, nothing severe. These will kind of pass on by, and then late tomorrow afternoon into the evening, we'll get a few scattered thunderstorms to our south. I do think we'll get a band that tries to work in late tomorrow night into Wednesday morning. Some of these could be a little bit stronger, maybe low-grade severe, but I'm not concerned about it. And then Wednesday afternoon, here comes our cold front. So here's 5 p.m., scattered thunderstorms along the front. Some of those could be low-grade severe as well. So we need to watch that over the next 48 hours. Then it gets interesting. We start to warm up. Front lifts north. On Thursday, we really warm up, some scattered showers and thunderstorms during the day on Thursday. Friday, just warm, windy, lower 80s. Most of Saturday, warm and windy into the lower 80s, but we could get a few supercells late in the afternoon ahead of a big line of thunderstorms that's going to drive in by the time we head into Saturday night. So a lot of chances for showers and thunderstorms this week, even a severe threat, especially this weekend. All right, 62 tomorrow, 69 on Wednesday, 75 Thursday, up to 82 by Friday.
Keeping the plants inside a bit longer. Need to get them outside, Doug.
Yeah, hopefully last time.
Thanks, Doug. Hey, if you drove part of Route 66 in our area this afternoon, you might have noticed a bit of a traffic jam. Take a look. We caught up with this near Galena. The 120-ton house didn't go far. Tilton and Sons house moving took it from roughly Riverton and up Chico Road west of Galena. Definitely not something you see every day. Unconventional mobile home. Still ahead, 2 undefeated teams hit the softball field today. Frontenac hosts Girard, and the Columbus girls are 11-0 at the midway point in the season. We caught up with the team. That's next.
Big softball matchup today, one we've had circled on our calendars for some time now. 2 undefeated teams hit the field for a doubleheader. The 8-0 Frontenac Raiders host Girard today. The Trojans are a perfect 7-0 first inning Emmeline Seneca. gets a base hit up the middle, and a few batters later, bases loaded, Bailey Troike hits it into the shortstop. Sarah Goebel scores. Seneca caught between the bases. Raiders tag her for the third out. Bottom half, Abby Beeman finds grass in left. Heather Arnett, coming from second, scores to tie the game at 1. Next inning, Lexi Robinson gets her swinging to end the inning. Girard leads Frontenac right now 5-4 in the bottom of the 7th. The baseball teams at Frontenac and Girard are just as competitive as the softball teams. The Raiders enter the day undefeated. The Trojans have just one loss to Parsons. In game 1 of a doubleheader, Girard leads Frontenac 6-3 in the top of the 8th. We'll have highlights from this one right here at 10. Another red-hot team in Southeast Kansas is the Columbus Titans. The Titans are halfway through their regular season schedule, and they're 11-0. They've scored 128 runs this season, averaging about 12 per game. 7 of those runs have been home runs. Grace Major leads the team with 3. Their numbers on defense are just as impressive. Columbus has 4 shutouts and have held their opponents to 3 runs or less in all but 1 of their contests. Stats aside, they're having fun, and head coach Amy Saporito says that goes a long way.
They're having a lot of fun, not just with the success of the season, but just playing together as a team, and the camaraderie that I see is amazing. Every game, every inning, they're having a good time. They're cheering each other on. They're having a lot of fun with it. It's huge, and that's something that we focus on is when they're excited, they're doing well. So that energy carries over, and they know that. They're starting to see that.
Columbus is back in action on Tuesday for a doubleheader against Pittsburgh. That's it for sports. We're back after this.
Take time now to honor a local veteran. Markham Thomas served in the U.S. Army in the 306th Heavy Bombardment Group and the 367th Squadron. Thomas fought from 1942 to 1944 when he was killed in a plane crash. Thomas was a co-pilot on a B-17 plane flying over Germany when his plane was clipped by another plane in their squadron. While trying to gain control, B-17 was attacked. The Carl Junction native received a Purple Heart, and we are proud to salute Markham Thomas, a four-state hero. Here's a look at what's coming up on KOAM News at 9 on Fox 14. 3 mass shootings rocked the country this weekend. The violence comes as major cities see an uptick in crime. Also, White House reaction to a Florida judge today striking down the CDC's mask mandate on public transportation. And if you like Taco Bell, well, you're going to be happy to know a customer favorite is returning. That and a lot more, of course, it's all coming up tonight on KOAM News at 9 on Fox 14. In the meantime, if you've been putting those plants out on the porch and bringing them in and putting them out and bringing them in, well, if they're out, you need to bring them in again tonight.
Yeah, temperatures, they're going to drop back. We're going to drop into the mid-30s for overnight lows. So we are going to have a little bit of a frost and a freeze. A few showers tomorrow, 62, 69 Wednesday, 75 Thursday. Some scattered thunderstorms, also a chance for a little bit of severe weather by the time we head into the weekend. So we'll have to keep our eyes on that as well.
And a final sports note.
Well, when you have 2 undefeated teams, you expect them to go down to the wire, right? Girard beats Frontenac today in softball 5-4. Really good game.
Yeah, it's tough. Someone has to lose, but that's the way to play it. Keep it close. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you right back here for KOAM News at 10. Let's make it a great evening.
Salon service is